stars, Wild Pack. It's Bernadette, and I'm here with your Aries Tarot reading for June 2021. For those of you just joining me, welcome to the Metaphysical Madness. In the comments below, you will find links to all 12 of the zodiac signs, their tarot readings, and then a monthly overview forecast. So that's there. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit that little dingy belly thingy so that you get all the alerts first thing when these go up. And then every day I post a daily reading. And on Sundays, we do these cool ceremonies. Sometimes they're meditations, sometimes they're teachings. You'll love it. Yeah, that's it for right now. So let's get going. My mind is already in the Aries. It's just like Aries. My mind and my energy is already surging forward. So, Aries, your tarot reading for June. What a surprise. You've gotten the rat inverted. Now, as a spirit totem and power animal, they're wildly powerful, especially, in the Chinese zodiac and in the year of the rat and everything, but just their overall symbolism and meaning across the world, but in particular in the Chinese zodiac, is super duper, and it's inverted. So we're going to be looking at a little bit of the challenges of that animal inverted, but it will be okay, because here's the thing. In true Aries fashion, your zodiac signs probably already gotten a head start on your to-do list for June that you actually started back in March. Now, if you're moving full speed ahead, which you normally do, like when aren't you, you may notice, or you may not notice the scratch of rat trying to get your attention. And here's why. Even inverted, rat is working with you this month, but this animal's position being inverted, that means there's some kind of disconnect between what rat is trying to teach you and the lesson that you're perceiving. And one of those lessons, I know you don't like hearing this, but slow down, you move too fast. You gotta make the morning last just a little bit. It doesn't have to come to a full stop, right? You've got to be able to catch the communication breakdowns before they escalate, because this month communication is going to be, there's no word for it. It's just going to be. So you don't want to get caught in the crosshairs of that, right? When Mercury retrograde, with Mercury retrograde initially, and Saturn, Jupiter, and Neptune also going retrograde by the end of June 2021, this is not the time to get too confident just because you think you have everything planned out. You do most of the time, but ain't nobody perfect, Aries. And I know you don't like to hear that either, but it's true. So just to be clear, if that wasn't clear enough, your confidence is not the problem, but your expectation of yourself to be perfect, almost very Virgo-esque, and your expectation that things will go well according to the map that you've drawn for yourself, that may lead you to some confusion and disappointment, which is why rat is showing up to help you course correct. Whether you love, fear, loathe, whatever, this furry little critter, again, rat as a spirit totem and power animal, man, it's got quite a few blessings to bestow upon you. Rats are witty, hardworking, resourceful. They use cunning and collaboration to survive no matter what challenges arise. And they do more than survive. They thrive. And if you've ever seen what rats will put in a nest, because they individualize their nest, just like we would our bedroom or our living room, they decorate their nests with anything that they find that really literally catches their eye or they like the smell of. And some of them are just works of art, and others of them you're like, where did they find that? That could not possibly have been laying in the woods, in the yard, and well, they had to get in somebody's house to get that, right? So rat's presence in your life now, Aries, is really helping you to find strengths within yourself, which may come as a surprise to you because you're normally really tapped into your own strengths, but these are reserves and powers you didn't even know that you had. So maybe ask yourself, are you working hard because you're passionate about what your vision is? Or is it because you have insecurities, or maybe you're just a wee bit greedy, and that's clouding your judgment, convincing you that you need more? No judgment, just asking yourself to ask you to ask those questions, and you can ask that of rat, and rat will show you the signs. Now, rat, again, as a spirit totem and power animal, is trying to help you keep your work ethic aligned with your mission and passion. And if you look deeper below the surface, you're going to be able to attune to rat's energy rather than missing your target, which will send you on a spin. So don't do it. Just talk with rat for a little bit and get to where you want to go, so you don't have to spend June in a spin. Now, as one of the most ambitious signs of the zodiac, Aries can no doubt appreciate Rat's efficiency and productive nature. Now, you Aries might have to overcome a block or adjust your plans to avoid missing an opportunity. But once you open your mind and heart to invite Rat to work with you, you'll be a lot more likely to succeed. And yes, we just said that. Well, yes, I just said that. But it bears repeating because you're also not one to reach out and ask for help. And Rat is not the only helper you have this month. Many of the planetary transits are currently working in your favor by either creating smooth transitions or by challenging you to up your game. And you're going to love that. But again, don't think that you've got your aim up so far that you don't get advice or knowledge or wisdom from an outside source that might have more experience or knowledge than you do. It will not kill you to ask directions, right? Okay. On June 1st through June 12th, Mars in Cancer is opposite to Pluto, retrograde in Capricorn, and this opposition becomes exact on the 5th, but the energy to be felt leading up to this and shortly after it, it's going to be pretty powerful stuff. So as your planetary ruler Mars is in the planet of passion, action, and focus, your family life may seem more active, a little bit more chaotic. An underlying tension brings you to confront issues with an authority figure who has shaped probably a lot of your attitudes about security and stability. The first thing that comes to my mind, obviously, when I hear that is, aunts, uncles, fathers, brothers, sisters, cousins, people that you just really admire. So just be really aware that you might have some familial and ancestral things coming up for you now that might even be carried over from past life. It might dig up some past life stuff. So you, Aries, may have to face the fact that a key role model who helped you to shape your career in business, whichever one of those, ones that I just mentioned, is first and foremost a human, just like you are. And as much as you try to be superhuman, you can't. You do a great job a lot of the time, but nobody is superhuman all day, every day, 365. And secrets may come to the surface now that challenge a narrative that you had since childhood, and that can seem pretty earth-shattering. But this is also a time to break new ground. And what that means is breaking free from the power that the mythologized version of that story of the person that you thought they were, or what kind of power or influence they had over you, you might have to break free from that. It's like when the student surpasses the teacher. It's that kind of thing. And just remember, don't dog them out. Don't be so disappointed. They did what they did at the time based on what they knew to do at the time and their choices, and nobody is perfect. So, Aries, you don't like to face fears. You like the word fear. You never acknowledge that you actually have any fears. And so, okay, but you do. And acknowledging your deepest fears and insecurities can be profoundly healing now, because I have to tell you, I am the queen of disassociation. And fear is not, it is a curse word in this triple Scorpio's mind and heart and spirit. Oh, yes. But by eschewing fear, it doesn't mean that you don't feel it. It just means you don't face it. And then what happens is you see whatever your fear is, that can lead you to see many other things through that filter of fear that you don't even know that you're seeing it through. And that can make things go cattywampus in a heartbeat. So June for your zodiac sign is an important time to assert new boundaries and let go of old traditions or limitations that had some bearing on your idea of what family or home had to become or had to be. It can be whatever you want it to be, and that's going to be super important. What do you want it to be? Maybe spend some time on that this month. Now, perhaps you'll break away from a restrictive tradition or belief that you've outgrown, and in doing so, you'll feel free to establish a sense of security in your family now. So perhaps you're finally making a breakaway from a career path that wasn't nurturing you in favor of a new opportunity that's way more emotionally satisfying, and by pure virtue of that, you'll excel in that even more, because listen, everybody loves it when Aries are happy. Their fire calms down a little bit and nobody gets headbutt, right? Or at least not hard. So on June 12th, Chiron in your sign of Aries forms a square with Venus and also with the moon in Cancer. This is because Venus is in a conjunction with the moon in the sign, and both the moon and Venus bring energy that feels a little foreign and maybe a little scary to you, Aries. So their presence, their planetary presence in the sign of Cancer compels you to sit with your emotions and even, what? No, feel vulnerable. Yes, the V word. I'm joshing you. I'm joking. You know I love you, Aries. But, even if you feel like you're being dragged, kicking, screaming into a more sensitive, intuitive mindset, you're very well on your way to healing. Even if you don't think you need to heal, that's because the wounded healer Chiron, is in your sign and dredging up old issues to make sure you learn the lessons that help you release an inferiority complex that you've been holding on to forever and ever and ever. So now is the time, and you are the one. Even if you didn't feel like you got the nurturing support, validation, encouragement you needed from family or with people who were like family, you're really, really going to get all that love and nurturing and more now. But you may need to take the initiative and seek it out. You'll appreciate the strength and wisdom you gained because you generated healing and growth on your own terms. And it's also a really good time to bring some of that healing, intuition, and insight that you've gained to home, to share with people closest to you in both your romantic life and your current family relationships. Now, on June 14th, Chiron, still in Aries, forms a much smoother trine to the moon in Leo. Leo's energy is much more comfortable for you as the sign of Lion shares your fiery nature. And, listen, even though you're still dealing with reconciling the old wounds related to acceptance, self-worth, and the relationship to key family members, you've got it's just a more solid sense of confidence, not quite as fiery, but more like I know that I know that I know, rather than, hey, I know. And there's a difference. This can also, through this time in June, for your zodiac sign, be a really good time for you to use your creativity as an integral part of your healing. Perhaps you'll write and perform a play based on your past traumas and wounds. You may decide to build a planter in your backyard. You may take center stage in other ways. It could be as simple as you decide to put picture puzzles together. But whatever speaking or training offering to others during this time can help you recognize the wounds that you've had to overcome in your own unique way, and it can be very helpful with them also. So if you get struck with like this crazy creative bug, just follow it. Now, from the June 18th to June 20th, Chiron in Aries is sextile to the North Node in Gemini and also forms a sextile to Saturn in Aquarius. The North Node is not a planet, but a mathematical point in the moon's orbit, but it is still significant, and it has to do with destiny and purpose and the path that you're evolving towards. So during this time, the wounded healer is helping you to open new doors that bring you connection with your higher purpose. And for Aries, that may not be anything that they've really ever considered, because you get something in your mind and you go. Sometimes you don't stop to think about, maybe the more universal or spiritual, some people will call it spiritual aspect, destiny, providence, that kind of thing. Now, a situation from your past that had you feeling alienated or excluded is now a source of strength, intuition, and wisdom. And Aries, your journey to empowerment and self-acceptance is not forming the basis for an important message that you'll be able to share, or is now performing. It's just getting you that message that you're going to be able to share with others. And that's going to be through speaking, teaching, writing, or other forms of communication. Now, that being said, that doesn't mean that you have to be in front of a bunch of people. That could mean that you breathe life into those words. The power of those words hits the one person who then takes it and pollinates everything else, spreads out to everything else, right? Okay. So you can be, Aries, your zodiac sign can be a spokesperson of sorts for an issue or wound close to your heart that can propel you into a new path that helps you fulfill your destiny. And it's really, I've said it a couple times now because it's so important, and especially it doesn't matter what age you are. If you don't feel like you are walking your sacred path, this can really help you. Now, on Mars 20th, on June 20th, Mars in Leo forms a square to the moon in Scorpio. And though that square creates fiction, or not fiction, but friction, y'all, I'm tired today, creates friction, you're likely to feel this one as motivational, not as oppositional. And that's what you love, right? That's all your feels is motivation. And that's because your ruling planet Mars also co-rules Scorpio. So in a way, it might kind of feel like you have VIP seats at whatever party you're attending, and that is a party of spirit, a physical party, whatever kind of party, you've got VIP seats. And then Mars in Leo is going to help you become more confident in those unique strengths and talents. What is revealed as uncomfortable for you now really is your emotions and intuitive gifts, which may be the first time that you've allowed yourself to feel the feels and even consider that intuition is a real thing. It's not just, something people like me talk about. And normally you prefer to skate right on by that kind of stuff, but you love a good sprint or a challenging marathon. In this transit, it just asks you to do a triathlon that involves deep sea diving with the moon in Scorpio, and it might make you a little bit seasick. Just stick with it, Aries. This is an important time. I keep saying heal, 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 and an emotional wound. But wherever you're at right now for Aries, your zodiac sign is really being called, because you're the great movers forward. You move humanity forward. You move humanity forward. But you can't do that as effectively or as powerfully or strongly or as bigly or whatever word you want to give it. You can't do that until you get things ever really aligned with inside of yourself. So now by the end of the month, on June 28th, Mars in Leo forms a much more fluid and efficient trine to Chiron in Aries. And at the same time, Mars in Leo forms an opposition to Saturn in Aquarius. That's going to trigger a few things at once. Past wounds are more maybe deeply resolved, and their lessons and gifts integrated into your personality. In fact, you very well may come out. You may go public and take pride in the strengths that you've gained from this challenging situation, specifically relating to lessons learned, spirituality thought about, intuition thought about, that kind of thing. You may have to reconcile your personal strengths with challenges that are still developing in your group of friends, community, or society at large. At that point, you become the teacher, they become the students. Now, Aries, it may feel like, as if you've just experienced a major win, and at the same time, all of your friends are going through their personal crises. Knowing when to pat yourself on the back and share your optimistic story, and when to hold space for a volatile situation impacting your friends or community or family, it's really important now. So before you go out there and you beat your own chest, but look at what I did. Take a step back, because those people really need you now, and you're going to be just the one, Aries, to do a great thing for them. So I hope that was helpful. Pick up your copy of the Arcanimal Tarot and Oracle deck. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Get on over to gatheringofmystics.com, which are my personal forums where we discuss all things metaphysical and pretty much anything we want to talk about. A lot of laughs, a few tears, lots of learning going on. You'll love it. But what are the most important things? Do good for animals, including yourself. Stay wild and keep reaching for those stars.